Hello job seekers, Melanie here with CGL Recruiting. And today we're going to start a series of videos that's all about accelerating your job search. There's a lot of people that have been asking of what are some tips and tricks that you can really do if you're willing to game on that job search and really work hard to accelerate the time to get a new role. So we're going to start this tip series today. We'll try to give out at least one or two of these tips every week, in addition to our other videos that we will have coming out throughout the week to help you all get a job faster. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing that. Please consider connecting with me, Melanie Woods at CGL Recruiting on LinkedIn. Let's talk about what a job search team is. As you're working through your job search process, many of you have worked with outplacement firms or like between jobs ministries or other organizations where you meet and get together with other people and kind of share some of your successes and the challenges you've had. Well, one of the things that I recommend to job seekers is that you create your own job search work team. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to lay this out as I've seen it work the best. And it can really help accelerate how you're doing with your job search. So let's break this down into its different parts. So the first thing is you want this team to each be champions of everybody else that's on the team for everyone to get a job. And there's a really kind of analytical type approach you can take to getting this accomplished. So for this teams, I do recommend you have it sized somewhere between 4 to 6 people. Any more than that, and it just gets too unwieldy and you don't get that real game on approach that you need to take in order for this to be successful. And I don't recommend you go any less than 4 people for a couple of reasons. One, if somebody in that group ends up not really getting focused and helping out, then you're down to less and less. And the second thing is, as you get jobs, they're going to roll off the team, and you don't want to have, 2 of you and then one gets a job and the other doesn't and you're left by yourself. So I really think it is best to form these teams with between 4 and 6 people on it. Okay, so let's talk about who should be on this team with you. Now, it should be people generally who are different than what you do today. So for example, I'm an HR person. I don't want to form a team with 4 to 6 other HR people that do exactly the same thing I do, that are going to be doing exactly the same look at jobs and job posting sites. I need people who are going to add diversity to what I'm looking at. So you don't want people that are exactly the same as you. Now there's 2 ways to approach it. You can either have people who are in the same profession as you, but different, or you can have people that are in completely different functional areas. And let me give you 2 examples of that. So we could say we have the 4-person team, and let's say I am an HR1, that I do the HR business partnering type of role. And then we have a separate person that is completely focused on compensation, and another person who is focused on HRIS systems, and the last person who is focused on recruiting. And so you have 4 people in the same job function, but they're all separate in the roles that they're most likely going to be pursuing. So that's one way to structure it. The second way is to take 4 to 6 people that are in completely different segments of a business. So for example, one would be an HR person, one would be in IT, one may be in sales, one may be in accounting and finance, and down the line, depending if you have 4 to 6 people. So you can structure it either way, but you don't want people that are in the exact same role, the exact same function that they're going to be applying for the same roles online. That's the key. So now that we know we have between 4 and 6 slots, who do you invite to be part of your job search team? Well, it's always best if it is people that you know. It is people that you have some kind of relationship with, whether you've worked with them in the past or you've volunteered with them on projects before. Some kind of connection is always best if it's there. And why do we want that? because this is going to work similar to like an employee referral program. And you are going to be trying to help this other individuals on your team get jobs. So you want to make sure it's people that you feel comfortable representing. You also need to make sure it's going to be 4 to 6 people that are going to work just as hard at this as you are. And it's somebody that you feel comfortable that you can hold them accountable and they can hold you accountable as well. Okay, let's talk about timing. How long are you going to be on this job search team with these people? Well, I recommend you look for somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks that you're going to stay with the same job search team. Now, can you do it longer than that? You can, but there gets to be a point where there's diminishing returns, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. But you want to get a group that is going to commit to do this and do it heavy for 4 to 6 weeks. And so here is what I recommend you actually do in this time frame. That is, you're going to have an initial meeting with this team, and then you're going to meet with this team at least 2 times a week. Now, my preference is you would actually meet 3 times a week. I would like you to meet Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You don't have to meet in person. You're totally fine if you're going to do a Zoom call, a GoToMeeting, whatever one you choose to do. But you do have to meet. Make sure it is no less, though, than 2 times a week. This team is only advantageous to you if you really are willing to put in the time and the effort. So why don't I recommend going beyond 6 weeks with one job search team? It is rare. Sometimes you will get a team that is such a good high-performing team that they will keep the momentum going. But what I don't want to have happen is you fall into a rut. I don't want you getting on the calls and talking about the same thing with the same people. And remember, by doing a job search team like this, we're trying to get a diversification of individuals. We are trying to get you to be focused in order to not be looking how you were always looking for a job. We're going to, in a second, engage how we get all the other people helping each other look for jobs and helping them be more noticeable on the different social and professional media sites. So if you feel like you really have a committed group and at the end of the 6-week time frame feel like you can go on longer, you can do it. Just be careful. You want to make sure that you're still getting that diversity. Let's take a minute and talk about the location of these individuals that are on your job search team. The people need to be in a location as close to you as possible for this to really work well. So if you're in Houston and one's in New York and another one's in California and another in Chicago, you are going to be looking at very, very different job markets. The only way that works when you're forming one of these peer-based job search teams is if all of the individuals in it are truly open to looking at any location within the same range. Otherwise, if you have one that's only going to look in Houston, another one only in New York, another one only in California, they're not most likely going to come across openings that are going to help the others out. So location is an important consideration. You have to be all on the same page. Either you're all in the same, very tight region, city, or you're all agreeing that you're willing to look at positions like anywhere within a locale like the United States. Okay, so now that you've got a team set up, let's talk about how the team moves forward. I do recommend you choose one person who has strong leadership skills to kind of help keep the team on track and moving forward. But you need to start this process, do a group interview of each one of the people on the team. Great way to start this is by having each team member give their elevator pitch to everybody else on the team. It's a start, though. It's not enough. In addition to giving that elevator pitch, and I should say if you don't have an elevator pitch or know what that is, please go off and watch. We have a video on that helps you structure it and come up with one that'll help you. But in addition to the elevator pitch, each person on the team is going to take their resume and cover letter and send it to every other member of the team. Everybody on the team has to agree to connect with every other member of the team on LinkedIn. That is a very important point, and I'll explain more in a minute. If you are using other social media like Instagram or Facebook to help you with your job search, and you can get a group that's willing, I really recommend you connect on those social media platforms as well. And again, we'll explain why in just a minute. Now, when you have the time on your first setup call, you really need to understand about the job search for every member on the team. And everybody's got to record this information for each other. You've got to know what are their parameters that they're looking for, location, what are the target roles that they are looking at, what type of company are they looking at. You need to know their job search just as intimately as you know your own job search. And you also need to have the opportunity to ask them questions. Well, tell me about this, help me understand that. You're trying to get a sense of each member on the team. And let's go forward to the next part of this, which is where you get the best benefit, which is how you're going to help each other as these peer job search teams. So when you are out looking for jobs for yourself, when you're on a job search team, you are also keeping your eyes open for jobs for the other people. Now, I'm not telling you to go through and do actual searches on each job posting site for them. Each person's going to be doing that on their own. But when you're out looking at a company's website and you're looking for positions for you and you see ones for the other people, you are going to very quickly be able to forward those positions to the other members of your job search team. It's a great way to have multiple eyes looking at information. And also because you are looking at it from a little bit different lens than the other people on the job search team, you're going to find that you're going to open them up to opportunities that they may not have thought of for themselves. So you can easily, on all of the systems nowadays, send through jobs to other people. That's the primary first goal of what you're going to do when you're representing others on your job search team. So the second thing you're going to try and do is you want everybody to have more visibility. And this works on systems like LinkedIn and on Facebook and Instagram, any system that you all are using for your job search. Let's focus in on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, as you see those other individuals' information coming across to your feed, you're going to do some kind of reaction, whether that's a like, a celebrate, all the different ones that LinkedIn gives you. And you're also going to do a comment on each and every one and do some kind of comment to boost their post further. Now, when you're doing the share and when you're doing the comments on their post, I'm also going to say you're going to go one step further and you're going to utilize a hashtag. And that hashtag is then going to share that post further with people who are following that hashtag. Now, if you don't know about hashtags or how they work, we do have a video. I have a video for almost everything nowadays, I feel like. But we do have a video that has the top 25 hashtags and a way to get all 300 that we researched that are the best for LinkedIn in 2020. But the more that you utilize those hashtags when you're sharing people's posts and doing these comments, the more the data is getting seen by a larger audience. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make your visibility as a job seeker come up to the next level. The other thing that I'm going to tell you now that you're doing that on LinkedIn, you're going to want to do the same thing if they're utilizing, like I said, Facebook or Instagram or another social media for their job search. You can do it the same way by liking and sharing and utilizing hashtags on those different systems to further get their visibility up. So as you're meeting with your peer job search team, at least 2 times a week, but hopefully 3, that first meeting is going to be a long one. The ones after that are not meant to be hugely long sessions that's going to take up half your day. You should be able to get it done in a reasonable amount of time. What are you going to do during that time frame? You're each going to have an opportunity to talk about what you did in your job search since last you spoke and what you did to help others in the job search. Now, you do need to hold each other accountable, which means if one member of your team keeps saying, oh, I didn't really have time, I didn't notice anything or find anything for anybody else, I didn't have time to like and post and share, there needs to be a way that you can exit somebody nicely out of your job search team. If they're just not committed to it, it's not going to be any valuable to the bigger, larger team, and that's the whole reason that we're doing this. But you do also want to know that the job search process is so hard, and people have ups and downs, ebbs and flows, and there's times when the rest of your team, or even you, are going to need somebody in your corner saying, hey, I'm sorry that one didn't work out. Let's see how we can help you refocus. Or, hey, I watched this YouTube, or I heard this podcast, and I thought it was really valuable information, and I thought the team might also benefit from it. Sharing that kind of resources with somebody who is in the job search process just like you are on this more personal level can really help to accelerate your job search. I hope this helps all of my job seekers. I really think if you can get a good group and stay committed, you will see very quickly how much this can add to your job search. If you have any questions about setting up a job search team, or if you even have a job search team that you have created with a group and you as a group want to have comments, please put them down below, or you can always reach out to me and I'll do my best to get back with you. Hang in there, job seekers. The right role is out there for you, and I will see you next time.